Same complaint, two completely different fixes. One person buys a mattress, another person buys essentially a robot that lives inside their current mattress. Today we're putting 8 Sleep and Serta iComfort side by side, not because they're really competitors per se, but because they're both marketed as the answer to the same problem. You're hot, you're achy, and you're tired of it. If bedtime feels more stressful than restful, you're definitely not alone. This is the Sleep Circle, where we test sleep tools, explore routines, and share what actually works. I'm Madison, and today we're covering 8 Sleep versus Serta iComfort. First, let's be honest about what we're actually comparing here because it trips some people up. Serta iComfort is a mattress. It's foam, it's coils, you buy it once, it shows up, and it's the whole sleep surface. 8 Sleep's pod is not a mattress. It's actually a cover system that goes on top of the mattress you already have. It's the hub, the cover, and depending on the tier, an adjustable base. So this comparison is really smart climate layer versus traditional cooling mattress. Two very different approaches to solving the same nightly complaint, which is sleeping hot. That distinction matters for almost everything else we're about to cover, so keep it in the back of your mind as we move forward. Serta iComfort leans on passive cooling. It's gel-infused memory foam and cooling cover fabrics that pull heat away from your body through the material itself. It doesn't do anything per se, it just doesn't trap heat the way old school memory foam does. That's it. No power, no app, nothing to charge or update. 8 Sleep is active cooling. Water runs through tubing inside the cover, and the hub heats or chills that water to hold each side of the bed anywhere from 55 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It's also adjusting in real time, so it's factoring in your sleep stage, the room temperature, even your historical preferences through what they call Autopilot. So here's the honest trade-off, right? Passive cooling has a ceiling, obviously. It can keep you from overheating, but it can't actively cool you down once you're already hot, and it can't do anything different for two partners with different temperature needs. Active cooling solves both of those, but only as long as the system is plugged in, connected, and working. A foam mattress cools the same way on night 1 and night 3000. A pod's cooling depends on electronics staying functional, obviously. As far as feel, the iComfort is what you'd expect from a mattress in this price range. It's memory foam contouring, decent motion isolation if you sleep with a partner, and they have a few firmness options depending on the model. It's a known quantity. If you sleep on foam mattresses before, you know roughly what you're getting. 8 Sleep's feel depends entirely on the mattress underneath the pod cover. Since it's not replacing your mattress, it's just wrapping it. So where 8 Sleep actually changes the feel is in the base. If you spring for that tier, it adjusts elevation automatically, which can reduce back pressure and help with snoring. So again, the comparison isn't really apples to apples. iComfort is selling you the entire feel of the bed, and 8 Sleep is selling you a layer that changes temperature and, optionally, your position. So let's talk numbers. Serta iComfort mattresses in the Queen generally run from about $900 on the entry-level end up to $2,400 or more for the higher hybrid models. One purchase, one price, and the mattress is fully functional from the day it arrives. But you aren't getting that customizable temperature control. 8 Sleep's Pod 5 hardware runs roughly $2,500 to $3,200 depending on the tier, so you have Core, Plus, or Ultra, but that upfront number isn't the full story because most of the smart features, automatic temperature adjustment, sleep tracking, autopilot, sit behind a membership. And that's an extra $17 to $19 a month for the base tier, or up into the $30 a month if you want that higher tier with the extended support and warranty perks. But there's also a rental option without the big upfront hit, starting around $170 to $190 a month. Now let's talk about longevity. What actually wears out first? This is the question I see come up more than any other on this comparison, so let's not dance around it. iComfort's issue is the foam itself. Memory foam mattresses generally hold up for 8 to 10 years if the foam is dense and well made, but lower density foam can start breaking down in as little as 4 to 5 years, and in practice, a lot of iComfort owners report body impressions and sagging showing up within 2 to 4 years, well ahead of that expected lifespan and what you see in other mattresses. Serta's warranty does cover sagging, only past a specific depth threshold, and a lot of real-world sagging complaints fall just short of that line, which means the warranty doesn't always kick in when people expect it to. So as far as 8 Sleep, earlier pod models like the Pod 3 and before had a real reputation for leaks, usually showing up after the warranty had already expired, which is exactly the outcome that makes people nervous about buying one now. The original tubing was laid out in a grid, and the corners of that grid turned into stress points that would eventually fail. But 8 Sleep saw this and decided to make some changes, so the newer Pod 4 and Pod 5 use a different interlaced tubing layout with fewer of those stress points built from a more pliable tubing material. 8 Sleep says that they stress tested the redesign by rolling heavy drums across the cover continuously for a week to simulate years of wear. They've also added automatic daily priming, which relieves pressure buildup in the system between cycles, another layer aimed at preventing the leak issue that plagued those older units. It is worth noting the standard warranty is still 2 years, and you'd need to add a membership plan to extend that coverage to 5 years. So, neither product ages perfectly. iComfort's weak point is the foam softening faster than the warranty accounts for. 8 Sleep's weak point historically has been the plumbing, and that's the part that they've spent the most engineering effort trying to fix in these last 2 generations. Now, I know you probably are thinking about that subscription cost, and this is really the deciding factor for a lot of people, so let's talk about it. Buy an iComfort mattress and you're done paying the day it's delivered. The only future cost is eventually replacing it. You buy an 8 Sleep pod and the membership isn't optional if you want the features that make it an 8 Sleep in the first place. If you skip the membership, you've essentially got an expensive heated and cooled cover with none of the automatic adjustment or tracking. Over 5 years, that membership alone can add up to more than what a mid-range iComfort mattress costs outright. Now, that's not a knock on either product, it's just different, and so you need to know what you're getting into if you're going to choose a smart cover like 8 Sleep. So, how do you actually choose? If you already like the mattress you're sleeping on and your main complaint is temperature, 8 Sleep solves that specific problem without making you replace anything. If you're due for a new mattress anyway, and temperature is just one factor among support, feel, and price, iComfort gets you a complete one-time solution with no ongoing bill. Neither one is better in a vacuum, they're just solving overlapping problems from opposite directions, and the right pick depends on what part of your setup is actually broken and how much you're willing to pay to fix it. We're all about better sleep one night at a time. Subscribe to the Sleep Circle and sweet dreams.